Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. I'm still working away at the plant room trying to get it finished before winter comes. I can't do my regular bonsai videos because I'm busy working on construction, but I'll give you an update of how things have gone this week. I'll start the video by going back in time over a week ago, and then we'll go through the days and work our way back to present day time. Yesterday we had that really nice day, t-shirt weather. So it's the next day, the next morning. I have got 4 joists up there now. There they are. All looking good. I'm taking down this side of the plate, the joist header. It was all rotted, the part that was sticking out. So I'm replacing it. I noticed that the top of the roof slopes downhill just a bit towards this edge over here, so there's not much I can do about that, you know, without redoing this whole section of the roof. So I'll just have to live with that. That's fine. It'll help it drain off this direction anyway. It's very slight. So yeah, my next job is to replace this piece here. I've just about got it pulled off, and then I can continue putting more joists up, which will be exciting. I've got the left-hand joist header removed, and the existing one, I've got to cut it back so the end of it is on the center line of the vertical beam here. That way I can attach the left-hand one, butt it up against it, and they'll both be supported by this vertical beam, and then it'll have another 2 beams here to support it. So to cut that joist header off, I want to cut it nice and flush and flat if I can. I am going to use my Stanley Fat Max. And this was a present from Scott Winard from Let's Do Bonsai. He sent that to me when I was working on my outdoor greenhouse, which I've got to get back to. And now I'm using it on the plant room, which is a little unexpected, but it will come in handy for doing a nice cut way up high there. So here I go. I've got my joist header cut to the right length, and I'm fitting up the new piece on the left-hand side, making sure it's all in line and looking good. So it's almost there. I'm just going to get it perfectly in place, and then I'll nail it to all these vertical beams, and that should be good and solid. I'm going to have to put in some roof vents, and I was wondering how I can do it. I can run, you know, soffit vents that run up here and then up to the top, but then if I have a roof vent, it'll only vent the section between the roof beams here. So what I was thinking, it was my wife's suggestion, was to put sort of a flat spot up here, sort of a mini attic. So it'll cut down the ceiling height a bit at the upper triangle. I'll have like a flat roof in, you know, for the end section here. Maybe here over will be flat roof, and I'll have a big empty space up there, so I'll insulate the lower roof part, and the upper part will have the roof vent, so it'll all just breathe out the roof vent. And I might have a couple of roof vents, I'm not sure. I'll have to see what the recommended number is. And I think that'll really help get rid of excess moisture. I think it'll allow, you know, some airflow, and things can dry out if they do get damp. So that's the plan, sort of a mini attic up there, a dead space where all the circulation can happen. So that's going to be good. I think it'll really help the room breathe. So this is a volunteer day out at the Community Orchards, First Nations Garden, Edible Forest, and Community Gardens. So these are all the people that signed up at Seedy Sunday. It's an event in spring to help out with the orchard. And so they got an email saying this is volunteer day today. So we've got a lot of people out helping out, distributing the wood chips. We've got 2 pawpaw trees to plant. We're laying down cardboard over there in the First Nations garden. So that's really exciting, getting that circular, traditional First Nations garden started. So Shelley, what do you think? Do you think this is great having volunteers out here?
This is incredible. It's just so neat to see how the workload changes when there's so many people involved.
You get a lot done quickly, don't you?
Yeah, and you see the results so fast. Like,
yeah.
You should have been videotaping us every 10 minutes because I think this mountain is going down.
I know, it's disappearing fast. I think Lucas wanted some of these chips for his, for the First Nations garden. But
it's a competition to see who can get it.
I know.
Right?
Oh, this is fantastic.
This is a double mound, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the spiral is getting larger. The volunteers are making short work of this mound of wood chips. It's disappearing fast and it's being spread out in the spiral orchard. Expanding the spiral out just looks amazing. You guys are making short work of this hill of wood chips. Look at all those shovels flying.
Just dump it over and scrape it in.
Yeah, eh? That's probably a good idea.
So here we are at the traditional First Nations garden, circular garden. So they're putting down cardboard and then wood chips on top. And that'll be the start of the giant circular garden. It'll be awesome. It's going to have a perimeter of stones around the outside. So the circular garden in the First Nations area is almost completed. There's a light covering of wood chips just to hold the cardboard down. This will kill the weeds and help get the garden started. They're still working hard out here getting that pile of wood chips reduced to almost nothing. They've actually got the good job today. They're staying nice and warm. It's quite a cold day today. And I'm the one holding the camera, freezing out here. But look at this spiral. It's getting really large. Looks fantastic. So even though we had 2 giant truckloads of wood chips, you can see they don't look like much when you spread them out. But it's a good start. It really conditions the soil underneath the wood chips. We noticed when we were digging around in spring that any of the soil under the wood chips was moist and rich, and the rest of the soil out in this area was kind of dry and parched. So it'll really help create the future of the understory garden in the spiral orchard. The giant arm of the spiral is slowly expanding outwards, creating this huge circular orchard. It's amazing. It's looking really good. So we're almost done all the wood chips today. Made fast work of them. We're saving wood chips to plant the 2 pawpaw trees, which will be the start of the edible forest way over there. So that'll be the next task, is to get those pawpaw trees planted.
What's that?
The spiral orchard wood chips are all laid out now, so everyone's heading over to the edible forest to begin that.
I left a black tie there for you, Nigel, okay?
Okay.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Great job, Joelle.
Laura's heading out. All right,
Yeah.
see you back home.
Yeah, remember the shovel.
Yep. We're breaking ground on the edible forest. We've chosen the site for the pawpaw trees. Okay, everyone, this is an accident just waiting to happen. Do not do this. This is probably the unsafest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Wow, we don't hang out often.
But it's working so far.
It's done.
It's done, there we go. So that stake was really tall, so there we go. Awesome. One more to go. So Shelley's preparing the hole here. We've got the richest soil and wood chips mixed in that we can. So the next step is we're going to tease the roots out a bit and get the tree in the ground. Usually nursery trees, they have their roots down here and then they just pot them very deeply.
Right. Oh, you're right. Right. Is that about how far we'd go with that?
That's good, yeah.
Okay.
So you can put the tree in the hole there on the center now.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
And we got to check the height. I would say it's a little low in the hole.
Low, eh?
So we're going to have to lift it up and put more soil underneath. Isn't there a joke? How many people does it take to plant a tree? It's looking good. I would say that height is probably pretty good there.
And that's a nice mix.
Yeah. If I were a root, I would want to grow in that. There we go. That looks a good height. That's really nice.
Okay, now, yeah, I'm going to pass this to somebody and I'll do some by hand.
Okay. Yeah, important to get the good soil around the roots to start it off with. So the other tree is getting watered in now. Look at this. Staked, watered, tied. Oh, I should have brought spiral wraps.
That's okay.
I'll do that this afternoon.
Sweet. Thank you.
Because we don't want to leave them unprotected.
That's what they want. Put the chips.
Yeah, yeah. There's the wood chips around the tree now. That'll hold the moisture in. And in spring, hopefully, it'll start growing.
Okay, I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah, it looks good. So that's it for today's orchard outing. We've got the 2 trees planted, all the wood chips spread, and the First Nations garden started. So that's big steps forward today. It's just fantastic. So thanks to all the volunteers who came out today. It was fantastic. Just speeded the whole project up immensely. After a day in the orchard yesterday, I'm back at work on my plant room. I've got my joist header in up there, and I'm starting to fit more of the roof joists in place, starting with this one here. So it's coming along nicely. Everything's looking good, working well today. So I'll just keep cutting roof joists and screwing them up into position, and then finally they'll get all nailed in place. It's late in the afternoon now. Here's a progress report. I've got a lot of the roof joists up now. I've still got 2 on the end, one that sits on top of the wall and one before it. And then I'll have to do the overhang. I'll have another one there. And there's another one I have to add in here still, where I took that short one out. So what's that make? 1, 2, 3, 4 to go, I guess. So that's not too bad. So everything's fitting well. It's looking really good. It'd be a nice strong roof. So I'm putting, as I said, I think I said, a little bit of a dead space up there so all the space between all the rafters can breathe, and then I'll have vents in the roof up there. So it'll get good airflow from the soffit. It'll flow up in between the beams and out the top. So that'll really help for condensation. Because this room's kept quite warm in the winter, and you know, you get a lot of condensation because it's cold outside. Especially when it's like minus 20, what do we get down to? We've had minus 32 or 33 has been about the coldest weather we get here, but typically it's about minus 22, 24 when the coldest days of winter. It's the next day, and I didn't get a lot done today because it's pouring rain outside. It's really cold, and it's just hard to get up outside there in the rain and do all the work. So what I have done is I've got the top plate on the wall all fitted up there, and then I have a rafter cut and fitted to sit on top of that, and I have the 2 roof joists down here all cut and fitted, so they're ready to go up. I'm just going to wait till the rain stops. So I'm taking it kind of easy today. I'm actually editing the video for the KW virtual bonsai show, so it keeps me busy while it's pouring rain. So we'll come back tomorrow and continue work on the roof. Supposed to get, I think, 4 days of fairly good weather. Hi everyone, it's another day, and today we have sunshine, which is just awesome after yesterday, which just poured rain all evening. So I have got all the roof joists in place, and the one at the very end, which sits on top of the wall. I'll show you that one right up there. So that's in place. So now, way back, I started working on the structure above the window here, and now because I've locked down that angle of the top of the wall, that I can put these vertical pieces in there now, finish that wall up. And yeah, so I've got the I'll have the overhang for the roof, and I've got two pieces out there. I've got one for the overhang, and then I've got another roof joist to go in up in here. So I'm missing that one. I've still got this wall to build up. Yeah, so there's still lots to go. But, each day I get closer to the goal. I've got some of my trees outside. They were in the greenhouse. So they're getting some sunshine today, and I need to water them. I had the greenhouse sealed up for 2 days just to keep the heat in, and it seemed to be working quite well. I checked on it yesterday, and we had 14 degrees Celsius in here, which isn't a bad temperature. So here I am in the greenhouse. My hibiscus is still flowering over there. There's lots coming. My yellow one, this flower is just about faded. A bit of white fly on it, I noticed. My bougainvillea is still all in flower. The baobabs are looking good. They're still growing nicely. Yeah, everything's doing quite well, actually, that's in the greenhouse. So I have the heater on now. Let's see what temperature it is. It is, that's about 16 or 17 degrees in here. Celsius, which is, it's not bad. It's not hot, it's not cold. It's just right, I think. Yeah, so still getting lots of aerial roots coming on the aloe bonsai. Yeah, that's looking good. My little pup I planted here is getting larger every day. And the one in the Mars project, I'll show you an update of that. It's way back here. And you can see it's growing really well, and there's a pup developing at the base of it. Yeah, so no problems with that. Oh, I see my variegated hibiscus is limping there. It's dry and needs water. So that's my next task, is to get all these plants watered in here. I've got an insulated tarp on order, and I'll put that over top of the greenhouse at night, and that should help to keep it warm. I think that's really going to help, and that might buy me some more time to get the plant room finished. My sarissa is still flowering, little white flowers. They call it Tree of 1,000 Stars. Root base is looking good on it. And it looks like it needs watering, so that's better get that watering can out and get all my trees watering. All the larches pretty well shed all their needles. My larch forest way down here is starting to get more fall colors. You can definitely see it changing to a yellowish color now. There's leaves falling everywhere. Yeah, so that should be kind of a bright yellow in maybe 3 or 4 days. My ginkgo is getting nice yellowish fall colors on it. And my American elm is pretty well bare now. It's starting to get some cracking down at the base in the bark. When the tree was in the front garden, it was buried up to here. The soil line was here, and this was all underground. And it was really smooth when I dug it up. Whereas the bark above the ground was all cracked. So now that I've got this exposed, this has been maybe the 3rd year, it's starting to get cracks in it. So that bark at the base of the tree will eventually match this rough looking bark up top. You can see up at the roof here, I'll have a lot of trimming of these rafters to get my overhang correct. So I'll draw, you know, a string line across them, get them all even, and then a vertical line. It's really nice to see a solid room shaping up. Still lots of work to go though. It's later on in the day. I've got the area above the window all framed in there, nice and secure. And I've just finished nailing all the rafters in place. All the boards are nailed to the vertical beams, and all the rafters are nailed to the joist headers there. So it's all nice and secure. So the next step, I've got a piece of plywood up here. I'm just checking that all the beams are level with each other, that there's not one that's too high or too low. And then I can attach them all to the top of the wall here. It's getting towards the end of the day now. It was a beautiful day. So I'm finishing up. I've got everything secured up here with nails, and I'm just adding the black tar to the beams. So painting upside down, which isn't much fun, but yeah, getting it done. So I'm hoping I can finish the painting tonight. I'm not sure if I'll be able to. It'll depend how things go, but I'll try. And that way it'll be semi-dry for tomorrow. And the next step, I think, tomorrow I'm going to start building the ladder for the overhang of the roof that goes on the far side. So I'll build that up and try and get that in place. I've worked my way back to present time. It's Thursday now, and tonight I'm getting the first test of my greenhouse. Tonight we're dropping to 2 degrees below zero, so into the freezing temperatures. I ordered a insulated tarp for the greenhouse, but it hasn't come in yet, so I've just put a regular tarp on, roped it in place. I'm holding it down with cement blocks so they don't blow away in the wind. I've got my door all sealed up here. So I'm hoping that all the plants stay safe and sound in the greenhouse tonight. We've got, I think there's 3 or 4 days of fairly cool weather at nights where it's getting below freezing, you know, a few degrees below freezing. So, and then after that it warms up again, so that's good. It'll give me a bit more time to work on the plant room. It's Thursday today, so that means I was out in the orchard this morning working on the trees. We painted them with the dormant oil, and that suffocates any insect eggs or any insects that are hiding in the cracks in the trunk, in the bark and that. So we'll apply it in fall now after the leaves have fallen off, and then we'll reapply it in spring before the leaves come back out. That's why it's called dormant oil, because you apply it when the trees are dormant. The plant room is getting closer to completion each day as I work away at it. So I'm hoping, you know, in the next week or so, it'll be done to the point where I can bring all the trees inside. I worked away last night trying to get all these beams tarred up, but it started to get dark, and because I'm painting black, it was getting really hard to see what I was doing, and I didn't want to miss spots, so I gave it up, and I'll continue on another day. I'm working hard on the room, and I can't wait to get back to making regular bonsai videos. But that's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone. Tonight we're getting our coldest weather yet. It is dropping to 2 below. Let's try that again. I hope it doesn't change to snow, but we'll see what it is. You know, it'll help insulate, and it'll keep the wind coming out. Yeah, cat.